This is the Atari 8-bit podcast.
This is Antic, the Atari 8-bit podcast. I'm Kevin Savitz. Volker Multhopp wrote DSEMBLER, which was sold by Atari Program Exchange and was first available in the winter 1981 APX catalog. Here's what that catalog had to say about the program. DSEMBLER by Volker Multhopp. Recommended for assembly language programmers, written in BASIC and machine language. If you write machine language subroutines as part of Atari BASIC programs, you know how cumbersome debugging your assembler routines can be. Here's a tool written in BASIC that's useful for studying and debugging 6502 machine language code. Through a series of menu options, you can perform a wide variety of tasks. You can disassemble any of the valid 6502 machine code in memory and display or print the results in a 5-field format. 1. The location of the disassembled instruction. 2. The hex value of each byte of the instruction. 3. If you labeled the location while debugging the code, the label name, i.e., not necessarily the label you assigned as you wrote the code. 4. The opcode for the instruction. And 5. Any associated operand using standard 6502 format. If you added an operand address while debugging, the label name will appear instead of that address. Using DSEMBLER, you can also perform the following tasks. 1. You can convert integers between 0 and 65,535 to hexadecimal and vice versa. 2. You can regenerate labels, a memory address and associated name, rename existing labels, and remove an existing label. DSEMBLER can create as many as 254 2 to 8 character labels. 3. You can display or print a list of label values and their names. 4. You can store a file of labels to diskette or cassette and recall them. 5. You can load your machine code quickly into memory. 6. You can display pages of memory for quick scanning. 7. You can jump to a machine language subroutine with the 6502 X, Y, and A registers set as you wish. 8. You can search any part of memory for any specified byte sequence using wildcards for byte values if you wish. 9. You can write your own operation as an option on DSEMBLER's menu. The author invites questions and comments by telephone. Review comments. DSEMBLER is a useful, easy-to-use debugging tool for programmers writing assembly routines to run with Atari BASIC programs. The user manual is good. Requires Atari BASIC language cartridge. Optional, Atari printer or equivalent printer. Order information. It was available on cassette, which required 24K of RAM, cost $17.95, or diskette, which required 32K of RAM and cost $17.95. The ordering number was APX 20065. This interview took place on March 21st, 2016. Tell me about yourself today. Where do you live, and what do you do to keep yourself busy?
I live in Baltimore. I'm retired for about 3 years now. I spent most of the other time, on the internet, just surfing around or playing in blogs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I got 2 nice, beautiful dogs. I walk the dogs about 2 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
We go out to state parks and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. And what was your career before you retired?
Well, I've had a proverbial checkered career. I had a lot of different jobs. My last paying job was the quality engineer at a plastics company. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's get in the Wayback Machine and talk about your Atari days. Can you tell me how you got interested in computers and how you first found the Atari and set me up with the story there?
Yeah. It's amazing how little I recall of the details back then, but I'd always had an interest in computers and everything. And I really wanted to get into the field. I remember when I bought my first calculator. I paid like $250 for a 4-function calculator, because I just love to play with that. Went into programmable calculators, and then you remember the old Sinclair?
Sure, yeah.
I played around with that, and then the Atari came along, and I really fell in love with that. I really liked Atari Basic. I was essentially teaching myself Basic and also assembly language when I wrote the program.
What kind of things were you programming?
I spent a lot of time on that program. I spent time on programming for an HP calculator.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that those old ones had a magnetic strip that could read a program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're just programming for fun. Yeah.
Cool. So what brought you to write the DSEMBLER program?
Well, I was interested in learning the assembly language, and also improving my Basic. And so I thought, I'll use Basic to help me understand the assembly language better. And it helped me, made it all clear for me. I was very happy with, how I understood really the concept behind the Atari Basic. I thought that was a great language. It had a bug, right?
It had a bug, you said?
Yeah, Atari Basic had a bug, a special, when you're moving a block of memory locations, 256 block, it doesn't carry the figure, and it creates the crash. And it was really prevalent, at the end there, because you couldn't reliably do a lot of things.
Right. All right, so you wrote the DSEMBLER program, and you decided to sell it through Atari Program Exchange. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I submitted it, and they accepted it. I had, like I told you before, I had all my notes and everything, and all their stuff about 6 months ago, and I was cleaning up, and I thought, well, shit, I'll never need any of this, and pitched them out. So I guess I made about $1,200 on it.
Nice.
Hey, is that it?
I guess so. Do you have, what else? What haven't I asked you that I should have? Any other stories or anything from that time, from the Atari stuff?
Yeah, I remember we had there was a small business small office supply, and the owners were trying to get into computers, and so they had an Atari club, and every week we'd go there. I was sitting around talking with people.
Mm-hmm.
As far as writing the program, I wrote it to be like I would want, some kind of program like that, and I thought I had a good user interface with that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Nice.
Some guys did contact me. They're obviously commercial, and they wanted me to modify it so it output to what I understood you like your standard printer defaults,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just not interested at it about that time.
Right. All right. Well, thank you. I think I have what I need.
Okay, Kevin. Thanks a lot.
If you enjoy these interviews and would like to contribute something, I encourage you instead to donate to one of our favorite organizations, the Internet Archive, at archive.org. The Internet Archive is a nonprofit digital library with the stated mission of universal access to all knowledge. They've done incredible things to preserve computer history, including hosting thousands of programs in an in-browser Atari emulator, creating the Wayback Machine, and offering full-page scans of countless Atari computer books and magazines. Make your tax-deductible contribution at archive.org/donate.